Greetings, everyone. This is Brian Terrian here from the Disability Digest, and welcome to our Wednesday YouTube live event. We're going to talk about time today, how to max your time, max your benefits. I have my colleagues, Miss Ivy, with us. Thank you for joining us here today, and
Hello, everyone.
Mr. Philip Price.
Hello, everybody.
Great. Thanks. I see the individuals are pouring in here, so welcome. And the agenda for today, I'm going to go through. I want to really share some ideas with you of what people are doing to use their time wisely, and perhaps learn from you what you may be doing that you could share with people. We are going to spend a good chunk of time today taking questions, answering questions in the group. We'll take a few phone calls. I know there's been people, I see questions on YouTube, on Facebook, so we'll do our best to answer those. All right, let's get going. We ready to go?
Ready?
All right. Good. So if you're new here, that would be fantastic. We always welcome new people here. Our objective of these events and here at the Disability Digest is be like your trusted resource to help you navigate the complexities, if you will, of the Social Security disability benefit system. So we can help you get your benefits approved, but we do a lot of work for those of you that are approved to help you keep your benefits, maximize your benefits. So I hope you find this helpful. If you do, spread the word, share this link, the replay, however you're watching this, stay tuned for more, right?
Great.
Yeah.
I wanted to cover this topic today because I feel that one of the concerns that I've learned from people as they consider the disability approval process, or if they're already on benefits, that they unfortunately end up struggling with is what to do with this this new block of time that you have that you used to fulfill with working. And if you can really, it's kind of the fork in the road. If you use that time wisely, then I expect you get a sense of fulfillment. If you don't use it wisely, then it can be detrimental. I know from my own personal experience with the time that I have, I was just sharing with Philip and Ivy that I do the best I can to keep myself scheduled and busy and involved and engaged. That's when I feel the best. So I'm in hopes that you leave this event or learn from this event or share something in this event that would contribute to that process for others. All right. Philip, I'm going to call on you first. I know that you have shared with me privately before, like some of the things that you do to use, I guess I could say, use your time wisely. Some of the things that you feel that have been beneficial for you, as a benefit recipient to, uh, feel good or do stuff. I'm not really explaining it right, but hopefully you understand what I'm trying to get at.
Of course. As somebody that's disabled and been on benefits for a number of years now, you definitely have to find something to occupy your time during the day, just to keep your sanity. When you've got when you get up in the morning and start your day. And I'm not the best person in the world for teaching how to organize because I'm the world's worst. I do have to stop and write things down during the day so that I'll remember what I have to do, so I don't get to the end of the day and realize that I forgot to call somebody or make an appointment or do something.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
on disability, you've got nothing but time on your hands, and you need to find something that you can do to um, occupy your time. Of course, me being an advocate working with the Disability Digest, um, I can pick up the phone and start calling people and get into conversations with them and try to help them understand the uh, the process of filing for disability, what they need to do, what they can do to improve their chances of getting their disability. So that's a big part of what I do during the certain time of the day. I certainly don't spend all day doing it, but I delegate at least 3 to 4 hours a day trying to do it.
Mhm.
And then, and it's not for everybody. There's other things out there that you can do to find, to occupy your time with, volunteer. Go out into your community and volunteer at a church or a health organization or something. There's plenty of places that you can go and volunteer your time to occupy yourself. Do something. Just don't sit around and click that remote all day long, because it's not going to do you any good mentally or physically. If you're not up moving around, uh, what's the old adage? Use it or lose it.
Right.
And if you're not using it, you're going to lose it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, so that's my best advice. Best advice is try to get out and find something in your community that you can do. Um, Helping others is a noble uh, endeavor, and it'll just make you feel better when you help somebody else. It helps them and it helps you in the long run.
Hmm. Philip, that is brilliantly said. Thank you for sharing that. Um, I'm going to go through some ideas that we've collected from others, but I would like to hear from those of you out there, like what what is like one thing that you do daily or look forward to doing that helps you fulfill this situation, the time issue. Um, so we'd like to hear you. So please share in your comments. Take a moment to do that. Some of the things that in the conversations that we have had with members that I've listed, I'll go through with you if you're looking for something to do. Um, is people have hobbies, they have crafts that they pursue, and that could be knitting, sewing, painting, do it yourself projects. That certainly falls into a category, especially this time of year in the Northeast. The gardening is big. And gardening is great. I've met people that just say, going out in the garden in my bare feet and getting grounded with the soil is just really helpful for me. There's people that write, not necessarily they're doing, blogs or online stuff, but they're journal, they're writing, they're getting their thoughts down. Now, if you're a disability recipient, you do have a slight advantage, in my opinion, because if you're Medicare eligible, your Medicare Advantage plan, which most of you are on, has a fitness benefit associated with it. And that fitness benefit, whether it's Renew Active through United Healthcare or Silver Sneakers through another company, gives you access to different fitness facilities in your area. And I'm not saying that going there and lifting weights or running on the track is the direction. You could do that, but these these places have classes. Like commonly, the YMCA is participating, and they have strength and flexibility classes. And you have a free access to go to any of these. So you can look at what events fit you, your interests. Maybe you want to meet others. Maybe you want to do something solo. Maybe you just want to go, and sit in the pool for water therapy, but you have that benefit. Work and work-related activities. Now, next week, mark your calendar, the 24th, we have 2 employment experts here that work exclusively with disability recipients and helping them return to work. So you're going to learn a lot from that. But even if you don't have the ambition to return to work or do part-time work, consulting, or like doing some freelance work, teaching English online through Upwork. These are, did I say internship? There's internships that are available. So, and you can do the volunteer work that Philip mentioned. There's Boys and Girls Clubs have mentoring. I know people that have done that. I'd also like to know how many of you out there have pets. Like, because if you have pets, like I have, our dog and cat are with me now, and I co-parent them. And when they're with me, my lifestyle is different than when they're not. You know, they need to be walked and they need to eat twice a day. So I'm sure if you have pets, that's going to be an activity point. All right. So, Ivy, is there anything that comes to mind that you may think would be helpful for others? Maybe something that you do. I mean,
Yeah. I'm just doing gardening on my free time. It releases stress.
mhm,
Seeing flowers blooms, the
mhm,
trees bears fruits, those kind of things. And bonding
yeah,
with family as well. It's it's
yeah,
really, really relaxing.
yeah, good. Let's see if there's any ideas out there that we picked up. I I'm not seeing. We are going to take some time to answer like disability approval, disability benefit questions. Absolutely. Going walks. That's a good one. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great one, actually. I try to walk, at lunch and after dinner, so I can definitely, and I know what it's like when I don't get that. Yeah, that's a good one. Exercise pool, that's a good one. Yep. Um, all right. And yeah, that's great. So keep those comments coming if you have, excuse me, if you have other suggestions. Let's move on now and take some of the questions that I know, Philip, you're monitoring the Facebook group, Ivy, the YouTube channel, so we can address some of the questions. I just do want to recognize before we do that, I want to give a shout out to Micah and Pats who work here behind the scenes. They are the ones that developed that lovely thumbnail or the picture that was on the event for today. So we appreciate them. That was really, really nice. All right. So who wants to go first? And in a few minutes, we'll take some calls.
Go ahead, Ivy.
Yep. So question from Cool Whip 1231. Just got my award letter. It said I qualify for 934 per month. I had workers' comp payments for 2 years from 2021 to 2023. Got a jump sum or lump sum in 2023. They didn't have this information. Could I receive more?
So do you think is the question receiving more disability benefits?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes,
I
that's the
wonder,
question.
did it say if the back benefits were received or just the monthly check?
No, just the monthly check.
Yeah, they're usually pretty good about figuring this out. So with that limited
Mhm.
information, it's tough to say whether you can or cannot, but I'll explain it this way. If you received and work comp payments. Let's say you receive $30,000 in workers' compensation settlement. And that workers' compensation was a one-time payment, and in your award letter from work comp, it didn't amortize it over your lifetime to say, okay, you're going to live another 25 years, or let's say you're going to live another 30 years. And so that would be $1,000 amortized over the years. Unless you ask your work comp attorney and know enough to ask, and this is a message for everybody out there, if you have any work comp going on, then they call this the Hartman rule. Unless that Hartman rule is in your award letter and amortizes it over the lifetime of the award, that $30,000 in back benefits is going to be an offset against your Social Security disability back benefits. So if you are expecting $30,000 in Social Security back benefits, but you got paid a $30,000 work comp settlement, there's no more money. So that's what you would look at. So
Right.
good question.
Yeah. And then another one for Norma. Will I be able to get my disability for COPD? I'm 59 years young.
Well,
Most questions.
yeah. Well, so here's the situation. Conditions don't qualify you for disability benefits.
Right.
And I'm using the language, or attempting to communicate this as the expert attorney James Mitchell Brown would when he was here the other week. So for disability approval, the criteria that you need to consider is it diagnosed, which I expect it is, because you have COPD, and is it being treated, and what are the limitations that you have? Like, how does it impact your daily living so that you would not be able to work? So if you can prove that the shortness of breath, for example, has a limitation that I can only have the stamina to really be in a sit-up position for an hour at a time, then I need to take a 20-minute nap, and I need to do that repetitively throughout the day. That would mean about 5 20-minute naps. So you're not going to be able to work a full day, and you wouldn't be able to be employed. So something like that. So there's more information that needs to be provided in order to increase the probability of assessing if you could get approved.
Yeah. And we always encourage them to communicate their limitations instead of telling Social Security what the diagnosis is. Because all they want to do is to see why you can no longer work full time.
Right. What would be another limitation from COPD other than what I pointed out? Anything come to mind? Sleeping,
Easily.
perhaps.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, sleeping could impair your cognitive ability because maybe you're only getting 4 hours of sleep a night. And so if you go to the grocery store with a list of 10 items, you might come back with 2, something like that. Okay, good one.
Yeah.
Are we going to
And from question.
alternate or just roll through Ivy's and then go to Philip? Philip, what do you want to do over there?
I'm still looking for some. Go ahead, Ivy.
All right.
Yep. Yeah. From Christian Hendricks. Do I have to wait 12 months for a decision from SSA?
I don't know what state you're in, but the wait time, average wait time right now is 233 days. And I was just at a conference where the commissioner from Social Security spoke, and they're working on getting that time down, but it's really a staffing issue. So I mean, if somebody told you it was going to be that long, or that's what it says in your online account, then I would expect that. Unfortunately, even if you have a severe, potentially life life-threatening condition, there isn't an effective expedite process that Social Security has been able to execute. So the Social Security Administration in this conference I was at, in a speech, he said there was 30,000 people in the last 12 months that passed away waiting for their benefits. Now, maybe some of them would have passed away anyway, but I don't think it would have been 30,000. So here's my, there's definitely more information in a few days coming out on our YouTube channel. But really the key is, my best advice for anybody that's in this is make sure you do everything you possibly can to win at that first decision. And that's what we do here at the Disability Digest. There's no charge for it. It can save you a bunch of time. I'll tell you more at the end, but do it right.
Right. And last question, Robin Chadwell. I'm 61 and just got approved for SSDI. My letter indicated I'll get a CDR in 3 years. Is this, I guess does this really happen? There's a typographical error
Okay.
on the,
61 just approved, CDR in 3 years. Will it really happen? Well, I don't have the ability to like say for sure that it will or that it will not, but CDRs are the real deal. They review about 20% of disability applicants a year. But the closer you are to your full retirement age, the least likely you are to be a candidate for a review. And the reason is that they're going to focus on somebody that's younger because there's a higher probability for improvement. And if they get them off of benefits, then they're going to save more money than they would on a 61-year-old because they're almost at full retirement. So the only thing I would say on this is do what we instruct you to do to keep your benefits. Short story is go to your doctors, communicate the right message to them in each and every visit, review your medical records, make sure that your message is in there and it's appropriate. So these are some of the things you'll learn here in our events and also as a member of the Disability Digest.
right. And last question, Brian, for Cebu. When you all start, I was just told to get fusion surgery in my L5 to S1 in my lower back. My question is, if I elect not to get the surgery, will that compromise my disability process?
Possibly. There's this compliance aspect of disability benefits, and it would impact you whether you're going through the approval process or whether you have it. So in this situation, I mean, if it was me, if I could avoid it, I wouldn't do it. But that's not the answer you're looking for. If you choose not to do it, then the piece that needs to be put in place for compliance is to provide a valid reason. Let's say if they do this surgery, there's maybe a 2% chance of a 7% improvement in your pain and mobility, right? So it's low. So, but there's a risk. So if you communicate to your doctor, doc, I don't want to do this because of the 2% and the 7% and the risk and the doctor buys off and it's in your medical records, then that checks the box for being compliant. Just not doing it, or just not doing the surgery and not communicating, that puts you in a situation where Social Security could be, well, let's see here. If you had that surgery, you could work, right? And this is the same. Medication is another common one. Some people are like prescribed a whole like bunch of like really difficult on your liver, not good for your body medication. So that's another one. Physical therapy is another one. People sent to physical therapy and they go like once and they feel horrid. So you can do that. That's how you can use the explain it, make sure it's in the medical records, review your medical records to make sure it's in there.
Right.
All right, I've got a couple here. Paul says, is it normal for SSA to do a SSI application all of a sudden? I applied for SSDI, which I have 40 credits.
I'm not sure how we applied, but it's distinctly there needs to be some intent behind it. Like you can ask a few questions and see if it makes sense to apply for SSI and SSDI. Like, are you single, married? And then based on the answer, like what are your assets? Like if you have a spouse that works or if you have any money in savings, then you definitely would not be a candidate for SSI. And by applying for it is going to cause some delays in your application and once you're approved, getting paid. So if you're going through the application process or, considering doing it, and I see this when people apply on their own, they're like, if I get an extra benefit, fine, I'll just check that box. But here's where the problem lies, is that they have to do an asset validation on you to determine if you are eligible for any SSI related benefits. Then if you roll that forward and you get approved, then your money goes into this payment center or one of the payment centers from Social Security, and it requires additional scrutiny to confirm that either you did receive some monies or benefits and how much they were, or you didn't. And if you did receive some, then they need to remove that as an offset from your back benefits. So we have an individual right now that we worked on and we represented, and we are exactly at 12. No, we're at 13 months since he was approved, that it's stuck in this like verification process. So because Social Security has short staff and this is extra work, it just is in some pile somewhere. So be careful about that.
Okay. Janine says, I was approved for SSDI after 25 months, so immediately given Medicare. I have been on Medicaid in Minnesota. Do you know how the two of these will work together? Medicare and Medicaid.
I don't know if there's any nuances in Minnesota because I am not a licensed agent there. We have somebody here that is, but generally in most areas, in my loose opinion is 96% is Medicare and Medicaid are two different benefits that you can use to complement each other. So you can still go to your doctors that you have through Medicaid, even if they're in or not in your network. With Medicare, you still have that eligibility to do that, and oftentimes Medicaid will cover your medications. Meanwhile, you have your Medicare benefits that you could use to layer on top of your current Medicaid benefits. So it's a very general answer, and the deal with Medicare, Medicaid is it goes right down to the zip code. Like what would work in your zip code may not be applicable for somebody that's just a few miles away in another zip code. It's that like granular. So here's how we can help you here, although we have a waiting list. At the Disability Digest for members, they can request a benefit review. You fill out the information, kind of like what you shared with us, and a little bit more. And then we have Medicare experts that are here. They'll review your current situation, if you have one, how you're set up, and then compare it to your options. So that you know there's excuse me, there's no charge for that. It's part of your membership. But when we do it, like when we do a review, it's like two out of five that we find that are currently on a Medicare plan, we find additional benefits for them. So one other note on that is make sure that you review your Medicare benefits periodically. Now this individual, I keep drilling deeper into this. If you're a Medicare and Medicaid recipient, you can change plans 4 times a year, like once a quarter. So you could review your benefits right now and see what other options. That actually suggest that because it's not as busy and you can get better service, better attention. So, yeah.
All right, last one. When will I receive the function report? I'm at 23%. Haven't received it yet.
Don't know. Usually it's like within 3-4 weeks from your application being submitted. If you're concerned, you can call them. You can find there's 2 that you're going to get that come together, is the adult daily living or the function, and then the work history. And you can find those online. Now, if you're a member here at the Disability Digest, when we put you into the disability approval course, we provide you access to those documents and the directions to fill them out. So what many of our members do that are going through the process is, even before they've filled them out, they'll take the forms that we have provided, which are the same ones that are online from Social Security. They'll fill them out, and then they'll when the other ones come, you know, they use the ones that we provide as a draft. And if you're using a disability representative, it would be good to do that, have them filled out, have them sent in and reviewed to make sure that they're consistent with their, you know, representation process. Then when the real ones come, if you have to make any adjustments, then you can boom, do it right away. So if there's anybody out there that would like to call in and ask their question, or would like to call in and share a success story, I'm going to open up the phone lines here so that you can do so. And let me just get the number. I'll put it up on the screen here. So the number, I have to turn my phone on too. Hang on. So the number is up on the screen. Again, you can call in. I can review your situation, whether you're trying to get approved or already approved, or if you have a success story, or if you've got a time-related event, something that you're doing during the day that we haven't talked about, and do you think we'd like to hear about it? We'd like to hear from you. And in the meantime, I just want to share with you a little bit more about next week. Mike Cuso and Kathy West Evans are our guest speakers. And Kathy West Evans works nationally with organizations to help individuals that are disability recipients go back to work. And Mike has a very unique situation. Mike was a disability recipient, and he worked his way off of benefits back into the workplace, working full-time now. And he runs a job board that is specifically for disability recipients. It's called Tapability. And so what's unique about that job board is if you can get into Tapability if you go to a benefits planner, a vocational rehab, and you work with them, get your resume, your credentials, everything brushed up, then you can get put into the portal. And if you're in the portal, and you can do this if you want to work part-time, full-time, or you don't have to take any of the job offers. But this is a portal that you do need to be a disability recipient or a veteran to get into. So it's specific for that. And the employers that are in there are looking for individuals to hire that are disability recipients. So most people qualify to get in there, but this guy, Ace, he wouldn't. He has no desire to work. He's never worked. He lies around all day. Right, buddy? Thanks for joining. Okay, we have a call coming in. This is Brian. Thanks for calling.
Hey, Brian, I asked a question and I didn't give you enough information because it only allows you to put in so much information.
Great. Who's calling?
Quick, Shane Winnicky, Cool Whip 123.
Oh, Shane. All right. Cool Whip. I like Cool Whip. All right. Let's hear it. Elaborate for me.
Okay, so you had mentioned on answering my question, you had mentioned that you didn't know if they had done the Heartland thing.
Right.
And yes, they did do the Heartland.
Okay, good.
And also, I received benefits from 2021, 2023 in excess of over $100,000.
Okay.
At the time.
So that's your
And
work
also
comp
got a
settlement, $100,000?
And then I got a workers' comp settlement for $100,000.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what happened with your Social Security back benefits?
They said I became eligible September 12th of 2023, and after the 5-month wait period, I would get a benefit April 15th of $934.
Okay, so in April is when you start getting your first
Benefit. Yes.
So April of 2024?
Yes.
Okay. But you were found disabled in what month again?
September 12th of 2023.
Okay. So
But that if I may interject, that onset date, I appealed it on the advice of my SSA agent, who said that you should appeal this. They'll figure they would tell me that.
okay.
So I think I have a good case if they say it.
All right. So your question to me is what? I just want to make sure I go in the right direction.
Yeah. Do I have more? Because originally, before I got hurt, my payment would have been $2,500. So they offset a lot of money. That's my question.
Oh, I see. So somehow they've reduced your check from 2,500 down to 900 something.
Yeah, 934. Yeah, but they didn't have the lawyer's lump sum information in front of them when they made that decision. So I turned that into them.
Okay, so you mean like the Hartman
Yeah, I turned all that information into them. Yes, with the dates and times and yes.
Okay.
Of all my onset date and everything.
So is it possible once they review the Hartman and you appeal the onset date that you could go you could go back however many months, we haven't talked about that yet, and then your check would be increased because there wouldn't be the offset in there? Is that possible?
It's entirely possible because they didn't have that information. They said they went with a higher amount because they didn't have the legal mumbo jumbo in front of them when they made that determination.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, right now it sounds like it's the decision process is in their hands. Are you managing this yourself, or do you have like an attorney or non-attorney helping you?
good question. I'd rather not say
Okay.
because I'm kind of doing the SSAs instead of just do it yourself. So I did the appeal myself, but I am with a representative. Yes.
So these things are not easy to do. That's why I asked that. And if there's,
I know.
yeah,
I know.
if you've got some friction or some other baggage with your representative, I don't need to go there. But I'm just saying that you have a lot of money on the line, and you've got the check. Like what you're rolling the dice on is $934 a month to $2,500 a month. So I just sometimes you get the right advice from a Social Security disability representative, and other times you don't. But you're in a communication legal deal, and if you have a certain, if you currently have an attorney on the case, that might even complicate it, because then you got to, if that one's not working, you got to release him, get another one. So I just want to voice my opinion. You called in, and that's how I feel. So I mean, if you're you're let's say you're dealing with what, $1,500 a month or more, right? That's 18,000 a year. That's 10 years. That's 180,000. That's the decision you're making right now. Plus, not including your back benefits.
Right. That's the important part right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, not really, but
yeah.
You get my point. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. So if they come back with a decision that's not favorable, then I expect it's going to have language in it that you could appeal it again.
Okay. Okay. Well, I appreciate your time, Brian. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in today, and I hope and pray it's favorable for you and it goes in the right direction. Let us know.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it.
Okay, you bet.
Bye-bye.
All right. So that was Shane calling in. I've opened up the phone lines. Somebody else would like to call in. We'll take one, maybe two more calls in the time that we have. So anyway, I was just talking about the event for next week. So even if you don't have an interest in going back to work, I fully expect Mike's story about what he did. You'd find some value in that. So come join or listen to the replay. Ivy, Philip, has anything else come up that you want to close out before we wrap up?
I don't. Go ahead, Ivy, if you do.
Yeah, there's a question here from Chris Wojtag. How does reporting work for a musician getting paid as most are by cash? Also, what about royalty checks from recordings?
Yeah, those are two good questions. So let me see how I can appropriately answer this. My position or message to you is we are all responsible as Americans to report our income. So, but you're getting paid cash. So, however that falls into your, however that falls into your position, then manage it accordingly. So what you don't want to do is I give you this so that you don't get in trouble. I'm going to finish the answer to your question. I'm just going to take this call and put it on hold here. This is Brian. Thanks for calling. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Brian, it's Mo.
Hey, Mo, hang on a moment. I'm just going to finish up answering a question. I'll be right with you, okay? You're going to listen in while I finish the answer. So the second piece of the earnings question is the royalties. And royalty income, if it's classified properly by your accountant, does not count towards your allowed amount. So check with your accountant and when for your tax filing. And I say that because like investment income, insurance income from royalties, investment properties, things like that, that income doesn't count. So hope that helps. All right, Mo, I am back. Thanks for calling. How can I help you?
No problem. No problem, no problem. Quick question on your advice. I'm 100% VA veterans disability for PTSD, GERDs, migraine, tinnitus, and migraines. And I applied for SSDI in 2020, and I'm finally getting the appeals hearing in front of the judge. What's your opinion on the success rate for like PTSD? I'm combat veteran for the PTSD, and I'm 55. So that's about it. And my hearing should be in May in front of the judge. So can you give me some advice? You know?
Yeah, you don't sound 55. You sound like you're 30. You have a I guess you call it a good voice. So I'm very familiar with veterans that are 100% P&T, and the nuances and challenges that they're faced with. So first of all, it's not the conditions that you have, as I mentioned earlier. So, for example, migraines. How often do you get migraines?
They're prostrating, maybe 4 times a month.
Okay. And what's your recovery time for migraines?
About 2 to 4 hours, and it's in my VA chart. They've given me medication for that.
Okay, so 2 to 4 hours. So if we look at that, just isolating that one piece. So when people express their conditions, migraines, like your severity of migraines would be or could be different than somebody else. But for you, if you're getting 4 a month and your recovery time is, let's say, 3 hours, I'll go right in the middle. So that's 12 hours a month that you would not be, that you are going to be limited by your migraines. So then that's what needs to be specifically communicated. And I mean, in addition to that, the time that you need to recover, like the 3 hours that you need to recover, can you be functioning during that 3 hours, or do you need to be lying down in a room that's just like pitch black, no noise, nobody bug me, right?
Yes, lying down, and that's all in my VA records, because they sent me to their VA doctors, and they basically denied me 2 times. So finally we're going to the hearing, and yeah.
Okay.
That's where we're at. They say the tinnitus might be triggering the migraines. So.
Okay. How many your VA record? How many pages are the medical records?
Oh, it's lengthy. I actually am being treated right now for everything.
No, but I mean like 800,000, 1,500, 2,000. Any idea?
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
Okay. So here's one of the challenges is that you can have the right information in your medical records, but it needs to be pointed out to Social Security. Oftentimes, in my experience, Mo, this is the challenge with veterans, is they have the conditions that limit them from being able to work. But VA doctors and their documentation is different than civilian doctors. And so what I mean by different is sometimes you don't get the same person that you see commonly at VA. So they don't know you as well as somebody that would see you on an ongoing basis. So they don't report as well. That's one problem. The second challenge that we see with veterans is their ability to communicate their limitations, because I don't know what branch or what you did, but most commonly are taught to play hurt. And so they go into the doctors and the doctor asks them how they're doing. They say they're fine. But really, if it was a civilian, they'd go in there with a laundry list of stuff that, is challenging for them. So your hearing is coming up and you're not going to be able to really influence what's in your medical records. But what you can do is make sure that, like when you say things that are in your medical records, like the migraine example, is make sure that those are clearly pointed out in a pre-hearing brief. You have a disability representative, attorney, non-attorney that you're working with?
Yes.
Okay. So what would be good is I expect they're, likely going to do a great job for you, but just ask them if you could see the pre-hearing brief and see if it's like consistent, right? So that would be one. And then the second thing is understand the questions that you're going to be asked in the hearing, and how you are expected to respond to those. And this is something that your legal counsel can help you with. Now, here at the Disability Digest, I don't know if you remember here, but if you're not and you come and you join, we have a disability approval course, and this segment of the approval course that you have has a breakdown of the questions that you are likely to be asked and how to answer those. So you can take advantage of that, work with your disability representative, and then, work that piece out. So understand your role,
Okay.
understand the questions, how to reply to them. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. You're very valuable, because now I'll go back into my medical records and break it down.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't invest the time. I would go ask for the legal brief. Look at the legal brief. You should know, because a legal brief is going to reference your conditions and the limitations of why you can't work. That would be your first step. Second step, you come into the digest, register, you're waiting for a hearing. And if you don't, we'll put you into the wait for a hearing course so that you have the questions to answer. And then get with your attorney and do some pre-hearing prep.
All right, very good. Well, thank you very much.
All right. Hey, let us know how it goes. Hoping for a positive outcome.
Okay, not a problem.
All right.
Not a problem.
You bet. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Wonderful. Good. Listen, we are going to wrap up for the day. It's been a great group, some nice participation. I hope that you've learned something that you can use to, make better use of your time or different use of your time, or try something to do. And again, we will be back here next week at the Disability Digest with our segment with our two employment experts, Mike and Kathy. So encourage you to mark your calendars and come back. A big shout out for the help from Ivy and from Philip. Yep. Thank you today. And of course, if you're new here, again, welcome. Or if we haven't heard from you in a while and you're a member here, then the very best way that we can help you is if you join us as a member at the Disability Digest. I'm going to put our website up on the page. And the reason for that is this. You're welcome to watch all the videos, or I think we're over 1,200 on the YouTube channel now, and search for all the information. But by coming in and clicking the green button and filling out your profile, like whether you're on benefits or trying to get on benefits, and then other related questions, we can then get you the right information, courses, support groups, people that you can talk to that can help you out so that you can get to where you're going faster. I mean, our objective is to help you get everything that you're entitled to fast. And the best way for us to really do that is if you come in and join us as a member. No charge for your membership. We're supported by ads, services, sponsors. Like one of them, we're in the partnership program with Google and YouTube. So there's ads on some of the videos that we have. That helps fund our efforts so that your membership is free and you can get all the information that we have been collecting since 2006. All right, that's it for me for the day, Philip, Ivy. Thanks again. Till the next time, everybody. Make it
Thank you, everyone.
great day. All right. Be well.
Bye.